Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark and sell them, hopefully for a profit. Today is Wednesday, February 26th. I have 4 items that sold in the last 24 hours. Gross profit is $69.57. They're pretty low, little kind of no interest sales. But part of the reason I do this is to be realistic about what sells. Sometimes there's really great days, sometimes there's not. I did think it might be interesting, maybe, if I try to tell you all the things. So I feel like because I do this daily, that sometimes I am just repeating myself, but I know that sometimes I just completely forget to say things for weeks at a time. So I'm going to do my very best to share all the things that there is to share with you as I'm going through this. I'm going to start with the premise that that maybe we've already sourced, we've already taken photographs, we've already listed. Now we're here at shipping, and I'm going to go from there. I will probably talk a little bit about sourcing and photographing and listing and all that stuff a little bit, but that's where I'm going to start from. Okay, this is an American Eagle hat. It has this monochromatic flag on it that says 77. So this, I didn't find any comp information about, unfortunately. Sometimes when I go to the bins, the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound, I will buy a bunch of random hats. I'm trying to be better at that more recently. But a year ago when I bought this, I was just any hat that I found that was in decent condition that I was like, oh, I could probably make a few bucks on that. I would buy. This was one of them because it had a brand that I recognized. And it was in really good condition. I went ahead and bought it. I average my cost of goods for hats at the bins at $1. In reality, they cost less than that. Because I'm paying by the pound, they, are less than a pound. So I had this listed really low, I think for around $12. Unfortunately, I did some of my labels differently this morning, kind of by accident. And I don't know what they paid for just the item, but with shipping, they paid a total of $13.76. So when I talk about profit on eBay, they put the amount of the item they put the amount that the buyer paid for the item plus shipping into my account. And then I have to pay for the shipping label out of that. And then the fees, and then also the cost of goods. So when I talk about profit, it is the item that the buyer, or the money that the buyer paid, that it gets put into my account, minus the platform fees, minus shipping costs that I have to pay, which on eBay I have to pay for a shipping label, and then minus my cost of goods. So this hat did sell promoted. I do promote all my items. I don't have a real good system for that. I just kind of occasionally if my sales are getting low, I will kind of mess around with it. I generally promote between 2 and 3%. I don't know what that is. Recently, I did put it on 5%, and I think I left it there. So I think it's at 5% right now. I'm not sure how to know what the best percentage is to promote at. But that's how I do it. This is a good time to say I am not here to tell you what to do. I am just telling you what I do. This is how I do things. Hey, you're back.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. All right, so after, again, fees, shipping costs, and my cost of goods, my profit's $5.22 on the hat, which, is profit. I will take it. Pretty good return on investment if you think about it that way. Ooh, you got a little tree, huh?
Would you like some?
Is it a peach? Peach ring?
rings.
Ooh. Peach rings. I shouldn't eat it right now though, because then I'm gonna chew it. Do you like peach rings? I really do. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna put it on top of my tape. No, I'm not. I didn't talk about my tape. That's one of the many things I should talk about. This is silent tape. I have issues with noise, which I realize is a little bit in contradiction to the fact of my tissue paper is noisy. But I can't handle like a tape gun. It just makes me crazy. So I spend a little bit more money on silent tape and it's worth it for my sanity. I have this big block thing that my tape goes in, and all of the stuff that I use is listed in the description below with affiliate Amazon links. I mean, if you're interested in something and you want to check it out, cool. We can still be friends if you don't. All right. Was there anything else I wanted to say about that? Oh, yeah. I wanted to tell you about my box. So this is, of course, I put the label on the wrong side. This is an 8x6x4 box that I got on Amazon, or not Amazon, I'm sorry, eBay, that I get with my shipping supply coupon for having a store. So one of the benefits of having a store, an eBay store, is you do get this coupon that you can use quarterly. And so it's roughly the same amount of money that you pay for the store monthly in a quarterly coupon, if that makes sense. So in my mind, I get kind of compensated or refunded back for 1 month. That's not actually true, but that's kind of how I think about it in my mind. I do think it's beneficial to have a store when you are paying more for extra listings. So you get like a certain amount of free listings every month, which I think is like $2.50. And so then when you are at the point where you are paying more for extra listings than you would be paying for a store, then flip over to a store. I think there are other benefits to having a store, like the coupon, like I don't know if you can run like store coupons like for your store or sales without a store. I think you do have to have a store to do those things. You have access to your seller hub, which gives you more analytics. I think you get basic ones when you don't have a store, but more is, I almost said more is always better, but more is not always better, but sometimes it is. And I think in the terms of analytics, that this can be really beneficial. All right. I am just taking a quick lint roller to this next sweater that we're going to chat about that sold yesterday. I hate lint rollers. I don't think any of them work. But someone in the comments once said, hey, try the IKEA lint roller. And so far, I like it way better than this pet thing one that doesn't work at all. I don't know how anyone's getting pet hair off of anything with this pet, so-called pet thing. I'm so good with the words today. This is a sweater that has, you know what I could have used? I wonder if I could have used Doctor Who. I don't really know anything about Doctor Who, but isn't this like the TARDIS thing? Is that what it's even called? I don't know. Anyway, these are the King's Guards. I used London. I used Buckingham Palace. I don't know. It's the brand Talbots. And I couldn't find any comp information about that either. So I listed it, I think, at $30. Someone sent me an offer, or actually sent me a message and said, hey, would you take $15? Because I don't think I had my offer set that low. So I do have best offers set on most of my items. I think all my items. But I do have a minimum decline or a maximum decline. So if I think something should sell for no less than $20, I will set the decline to $20. I don't have an automatic accept. I kind of wonder if I should do that, but I don't know. I've just always done it this way. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. Again, I'm just telling you what I do. I think having best offer on, especially with clothing for most things, is a good thing to do. I also have a coupon on my store all the time, 15%. I shouldn't say all the time, most of the time. If I run a large sale, like 30 or 20 or more % off, then I will often take it off unless I'm wanting to spur even more sales with that extra 15. Because if somebody says, oh, look, it's 30% off, plus you get an extra 15% off if you use this coupon. I'm going to lose some money doing it that way, but I'm going to get some sales doing it that way. At least that's the hope. So, oh, I think I just lost my train of thought. I will tell you about my poly mailers. I wrap everything in tissue paper, and then I have just a little thank you sticker. I get all these on Amazon, although someone sent me these poly mailers, and they also sent me a roll of thank you stickers that are like super fun and colorful, and I'm so excited to get through this boring black and gold one to use the super fun and colorful ones. I have always just used white ones, either from Amazon or I have some, eBay branded ones again that I would get with my the coupon. But since she sent me these have just brought me so much joy and just a little fun way that now I'm like, maybe it'll be worth it to just spend a little more on the poly mailers just for that pop of joy. And I imagine, maybe not for everyone, but if it brings me joy, it's probably going to bring the buyer a little bit of joy to open their mail and have this fun little pink paisley package in their mail. I think it would bring me joy. My poly mailers are 10 by 13. I also have a larger size that is 18 by 14. I actually put those away for now because I have a giant pile of big recycled poly mailers, things that have come to my house or my family or my friends' homes and that they've kept for me so that I can use them here. I do use recycled materials often. I actually have a whole bin here of, yeah, we're good. Did I just flash my address? I didn't. A whole bin here of recycled poly mailers as well that are more, this size and a little bit smaller. All right, let's talk a little bit about storage. So unfortunately, this is where I take my pictures. This rolls up, and behind here are more of these boxes. This is how I store my items. I'll grab this one out so I don't get mixed up. So these are, I don't know the size, but they're linked to, as well as the boxes and the SKU numbers. But I have these SKU numbers. They're numerical. I keep them numerical. I do not recycle numbers. I just will, I was trying to find a good example, but I don't have one. I will just pile them on top of each other, and they stick just fine. I used a bin system for a little over 2 years. I've been reselling for almost 3.5 years. I used a bin system and it worked really well for a while, but once I hit about 1,000 listings, it was just too much. I was losing things. It was taking me too long to dig through. I was having to, pull them off of these giant shelves. I do work out in my garage, and my husband built my shelves for me. They're wonderful. They actually are built specifically sized to the bins that I used, which is nice, but not helpful now. All right, next item. These are a pair of jeans. They are pretty destroyed. I actually think I used destroyed or trashed or thrashed or something like that in the title. These have a raw hem, and they are the brand Torrid. Now, Torrid is a brand generally I like to sell. I just sourced a pair of Torrid jeans. These are the boyfriend fit. the sell-through rate is not great. The Torrid Boyfriend Jeans Distressed was what I looked up. And the average sale price is $14.52 with an 11% sell-through rate. Now, you might be thinking, Jen, I heard you say comp like 3 times, and now you're talking about average sale price and sell-through rate. What does that mean? Well, I'll be happy to tell you. First of all, if you want kind of a deeper look at that, I do have a video linked in my description. And you can check that out if you want. But comps are basically comparables, which just show you like items, what they are listed for, what they are sold for. So an average sale price is out of all the items that sold, what is the average? So if one sold for 10 and one sold for 20 and one sold for 15, the average sale price is going to be 15. I think I didn't math that, I just guessed. The sell-through rate tells you what percentage of items are actually selling. I do my sell-through rate as the amount of items listed divided by the amount of items sold and listed. And so 11% is going to look like if 100 items were sold, or I'm sorry, I'm trying to say all the right words and they're just getting jumbled in my head. If 100 items were listed in the last 90 days, then 11% would look like 11 of those had sold and 79 of them are still listed. That's not right. 89 of them are still listed. Let's get that simple math going in there, Jen. All right. So 11% is not a high sell-through rate. It's not. Now, I sell things with low sell-through rate often. And that is largely due, I think, this is a guess. I'm not an expert at any of this, I want to say. But based on my experience, I think it's because of the way that I price. And when my items are priced, when my items are something that has a low sell-through rate, I will price lower and then take offers, send offers, and that coupon is already on there. So I do send offers on eBay and on Poshmark, and I usually send for 20% off. And when I say usually, I mean like 99.5% of the time. There's occasions when it will just like one item will pop up and it will be something that's like really old, and I'll go ahead and send like a larger percent off. I'm realizing that I never told you the rest of the information on that Talbot's sweater. Sold for $15 plus shipping, so $20.62. Again, it did sell promoted, so I paid $4.30 in fees. It took 6 weeks to sell, which is not bad. I was going to tell you, I normally probably wouldn't have said within 6 weeks that, yeah, it would take that big of a discount. It was like a 50% off offer. But I am going to put all my sweaters on clearance starting in March, which is in 3 days. So I went ahead and just was like, yes, let's move the sweaters because it's becoming soon not sweater weather, which is yay. I'm so excited for spring. I'm so over winter, so over it. I'm kind of, yeah. Okay, let me go through this. So these sold for a total of $22.19. I think they paid right around that $14. Yeah, this was not promoted. They sold in 6 months. They were mine. I loved the way they fit. They just felt really great. They were really super comfortable. But that much distressing on a 44-year-old, mostly frumpy woman felt very awkward and uncomfortable. So I got rid of them and listed them and made $11.96. I probably did actually pay around $5 for them. But I don't know. So I do cross list. I use Vendoo to keep track of all my inventory. That tells me what the item is, where I bought it, how much I bought it for, what it's listed for, where it's listed, and where it's located in my inventory. It has my SKU numbers. So it tells me all of that. It helps me with my analytics, lets me know what I'm selling, where, how much, all of that fun stuff. I use Prime Lister to do automation on Poshmark. So I cross list to Depop, and then I also have Curtsy set up, which actually is not really cross listing. You actually connect your Poshmark closet to Curtsy. I don't have any Curtsy sales or Depop sales today. So when the items are on Poshmark, I use Prime Lister to automatically share all my items. It's set to like the max amount that you can do, which I think is 9,000 a day. And then it also automatically sends offers to watchers on Poshmark. So these hold on Poshmark, which is nice. These are very wrinkly. When they sit in bags like this, things just get wrinkly. This is just a pair of leggings. So this is kind of interesting. And it could, well, okay, let me formulate my thoughts first. This is Aerie Offline. I don't know if you're able to see it because it's kind of silvery. Yeah. So Kaylee Elaine, I have mentioned her a few times in the past couple days. Someone I follow pretty closely. I think she has a pretty good, she seems like she just has a pretty good head for business. She also does a lot of keyword stuff. I'm not a part of her group or anything, and I don't plan to be. I don't really have a reason for that other than just I don't want to. But she had mentioned, she talks about factor stacking a lot. And I mentioned a couple days ago, it may have even been yesterday, like I was like, I hate to use the word factor, but I think I was going to use, oh shoot. I was like Googling, or I was like looking at a thesaurus for synonyms for factor. And there was one and I didn't write it down. Shoot, it started with a C, and I was gonna be like, that counting, because I like alliteration. What was it? Shoot. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, she talks about factor stacking a lot. And that is something that, because I don't find a lot of high-end, high sell-through rate type of items, I do try to do more of that factor stacking. So having more than one component, component counting. It's not as catchy, is it? More than one component to more than one factor to the item. So in this example, she had specifically given Aerie leggings don't have a very high sell-through rate. However, Aerie leggings with the crossover waist, which this has, and in a larger size, and with the sub-brand Offline, would have a better sell-through rate. Because those would be, stacking the factors, counting the components. However, I looked at the sell-through rate this morning. Now, this was probably a year ago when she said this specific thing. Comps change. People change. Seasons change. Trends change. Lots of things change. However, this morning, as of this morning, Aerie leggings had an average sale price of $15.69 with a 15% sell-through rate. Terrible. But then I added Offline, crossover, and I added plus size, even though these are extra, extra large, which I think is actually not a plus size. I think that's actually a regular size. The average sale price is $12.55 with a 9% sell-through rate. So the comps actually got worse with those added components, those counted components, if you will. Anyway, I bought these at a Plato's Closet. I very rarely go to a Plato's Closet. Sometimes my daughters like to go to shop for themselves. And when they do, I will check things out. Usually clearance because, I don't know, I just don't find good things this has not been my experience anyway. Like I spend hours looking through the racks and I'm like, there's nothing that I'm going to pay $10 or $15 for that's going to make me a lot of money. If you do Plato's or Clothes Mentor or, another buy sell trade, How do you do it well? I wonder, I think it probably is the Play-Dohs that I go to, you know, just the area. Okay, regardless, these sold for $13 on Poshmark. American Aerie is an American Eagle sub-brand. They sell intimates and lifestyle is what Google told me this morning. Because I'm
leaving. I'll text you updates.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
All right, this sold for, in 7 months, I paid $3. It was like a clearance thing at Play-Doh. So I made $7.05, which I'm, you know, not sad about. I got my money back. Now, on Poshmark, they will pay for the item, but they pay for shipping, but the shipping goes to Poshmark and then Poshmark supplies the shipping label. And it's a priority shipping label. Every time, except when it's not, which there's a story involved. But anyway, this, I use free priority mailing stuff. So this is a Tyvek mailer. These are priority stickers that I use because the like flaps kind of flap. The flaps flap. That's my daughter's loud card. Anyway, you can get them on USPS.com. And they will come to your door for free. Now, you can't use them for anything other than shipping priority with the priority label. It's like literally illegal to do otherwise. So like to use them as stuffing or to use one of the boxes and then put a poly mail over it, that's literally illegal. So I don't want you to think I'm telling you to do something illegal. Anyway, I don't think you do. Okay, anyway. I think that's it. My gross sale, no, not my gross. So my profit, again, the gross sales amount minus the shipping cost, minus the fees, minus my cost of goods is $32.41. Now, I do have other costs. I have subscription fees. I have inventory. I have shipping supplies. I pay one of my daughters, the loud car daughter, to take pictures for me. There are other costs that go into running this business that will take away some more of that profit. So just so you know that. I do talk about that monthly as I go through like a monthly recap. Potentially, probably, hopefully, my February recap will come out on March 1st in just a few days. So we'll see that, barring any unseen, unknown things that come up, which, you know, does. So, question of the day. I was just thinking like some fun, silly, inconsequential, something silly and fun. So the question is, who is your celebrity crush? Mine, and here's the caveat, my big butt, if you will. I don't know these people, right? It's purely physical. Which sounds terrible when I say that out loud, but I don't know these people at all. I have no idea of their character, their personality, whatever, but I have 3. Is that bad? My husband and I were talking about this with my girls last night, and he was like, oh yeah, she's got 3. He has 2, so it's okay. Anyway, Denzel Washington and Matthew McConaughey, which I found out is also my sister's celebrity crush. And then Matt Zuckery, who is, every time I see him, it just takes me back to when I was 25 and he was Logan on Gilmore Girls, and I was like, just whatever. I was married then still, but it's okay to enjoy. I always tell my girls, because they're like, oh my word, you're married to dad. And I'm like, yeah. And you know what? Like, there's beautiful flowers that you can look at and appreciate that it is beautiful, and then you can move on with your life, and that's okay, right? So it's kind of like that. So anyway, who is your celebrity crush? Do you want to know my husband's? I'll tell you. ScarJo is one, and Jennifer Garner is the other, which, you know, he's got good taste. He knows. I was thinking about my celebrity crushes, and I was telling Alex last night, and he kind of rolled his eyes, but like, the thing that I like about them is when they smile, all 3 of them, it's just their smile. And my husband is like that too. When he smiles, his whole face just lights up, and it's beautiful, and I love that. So anyway, And that's all. If you liked the video, make sure you like it, thumbs up. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is I tried to talk about all the things, but there's no possible way that I talked about all the things. So if you have questions, something that you're curious about, something that you don't understand, please ask in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. I will do my best to at least share my experience with you. So subscribe if you haven't already. I do ship with me videos every day. Sometimes they're not great, exciting things. Sometimes I have really fun things or a lot of things, and it just varies because this reseller world varies. It's a crazy roller coaster, but it's so fun and it's so worth it. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me, listening to me babble, and letting me share my thoughts with you. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you soon.